Hello and welcome to the lecture on how to define objects. So let's define some object here. We'll call it as object and we'll create a car class here. And I'm going to open it in the Sublime. So let's define the car class. We use the class keyword to define the class, and the name first letter should be uppercase and it should match with your file name. Okay, let's define two properties of it. The property should be defined with public keyword. We'll say name, color. Okay, let's have a method in it, call it say hello, and we will print some value. Well, we have seen till here how to define a car class with some properties and methods. Let's understand how to create an object and how to access these properties and methods. So we can say car1 is equal to new car. Okay, so using this object, now you can access properties and methods. So we'll set the properties first. The name of the car is Ferrari and the color of that car is red. Now I want to call the method and say hello, and you can now say $car1, that's the name of the car is this color. Okay, so just have a look at how you basically write an object. The object creation is here. This is basically assigning the property a value. You must remember that you're not putting a $sign here, even though it's mentioned with $sign here. When you access the property, you don't have to mention $sign twice. You already mention it with the object. It will directly refer to the property name. And then when you call the method, you just have to call the method like how you call a method, but just difference is you will use the object. For that object you are calling the method. Okay, so let's execute this. So let's go to object folder and then we're going to execute the car class. So you see hello for car class, and then the value has been shown here. The value is basically you have assigned to that specific instance of a class. So this object actually holds Ferrari and red. You can actually do one more example of it, and you can create one more sample of it and call it another object car2, and you can see they both will be different, and you can say blue, and you have the same code just reused. So let's call it car2 and this is car2. Okay, so now you have two instances of a class, car1 and car2. Car1 is holding Ferrari red color and car2 is holding BMW blue color. Well, this is the power of the OOPS, wherein you can create n number of instances, n number of object of a class, and then you can start using by passing the whatever data you want to store in that object. Well, class is a combination of property and methods, and to access a class you create something called as objects, and via the objects you basically access the properties and methods of a class, and all the instances that you create are independent by itself. Okay, so that's an example of how to define an object and how to access a property via an object and how to call a method via that object. Okay, so that's all on this lecture of how to define an object, and I'll see you in the next one.